Everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning 15 Minutes. Tanu Rabanan Chanuka. This share is sponsored by Anonymous in honor of good test results for everyone, and everyone should be healthy. Okay. We're up to us. And a refuah shleimah. Chaim Refael Ben Sarah, Bentzion Ben Sarah, Chaim Eliezer ben Raisa Esther, Elka Rochel bas Aleeza. Okay, so we're up to zechus. We're gonna probably finish today tomorrow. Basically, what we're discussing. So in zechus, we're going to discuss the connection which we spoke about in the beginning between Chanuka and Sukkot. We asked in the beginning that the opinion of Beis Shammai is we start on 8 candles and we go down. Connected parachag, because it's like the bulls that were brought in the Beis Midrash on Chanuka on Sukkot. So our question was, what's the connection between Chanuka and the Sukkot? They're like two different Avedas, two different places. Ma'akesha. Basically, we want to say that there is a connection, and the connection is like we talked about before. That a lot we've been discussing till now is that they both reach this level above, and ultimately, just like the Yechida, it permeates everything. So too, like we learned also in Chassidus, also Sukkot has this idea, not the Yechida necessarily, but this idea that you take a makif and it permeates. Yeah, so ultimately what we've been saying is through tapping into Yechida, the victory that you have is a complete victory. Tapping into Yechida, once you get that, you have nothing against. Yes, no Bahamas is involved, and everything goes well. Like I said about the story about I was doing time and the guy jumped in to the light the menorah, didn't even know what it was. His Yechida was tapped into, even though he didn't realize it, and therefore there's nothing menagid, and therefore he's running to do a mitzvah, even though he didn't know what Chanuka was. Barak Ches. Everything we just explained will be understood. Half reglach, and there's Chanuka, the Sukkot, the Parachag. Now understand the connection between the comparison between the lights of Chanuka and Sukkot into the bulls of Sukkot. In Sukkot, the idea of Sukkot is like the Gam, Inyan, Parachag, and also the idea of the bulls are brought up on Sukkot, who is Galus and Makifim. What is it? It's revelation of the Makifim. Of the makif, the level that's above us, that surrounds us, cannot be internalized. But what happens is, sukkah is just like a actual sukkah. Shemakef is al adam that surrounds a person. Sukkah is not internalized in the person. Ubashmini to sukkahs, and then comes the 8th day of sukkahs. Nimshachim makifim v'ne'etzarim gam pnimius. And the 8th day, what happens is this makif of sukkahs stops, and then it gets drawn down into the pnimius. It's able to bring it down to the pnimius. Which is like exactly what we're talking until now, like that Veda Mesiras Nefesh of Chanuka. Shefael is kanal v'chayderes v'chol kevus nefesh. And what happens on sukkahs? You have this concept that on sukkahs you take something that's above the makif, and we're saying on the 8th day we bring it down to pnimius, which is the idea of this makif, like the yechida, which is a very high level. But we're able, when we connect to it on Sukkot, on Chanuka, it expresses itself in everything. And like we said in Chassidus. And this is what it means that both of them, Sukkot and Chanuka, are Shmoniyam. That's why they're both 8. Mitzvah Shmoniyah, who Aleph Zayin. It's 8. He says it's comprised of 1 and 7, meaning Shaha Aleph, the oneness of Hashem, which is shleimah mishtashlos, which is totally above nature and above our nature. Nimshach bezayin veishtashlos. It gets drawn down into nature. You're taking the above nature, or the level of the yechida, which is totally above you, and bring it into you that it can be expressed within you. Just like the lights of Chanuka. Just like we said before, and I think it was in Parak Zayin. You have the regular Talmudei, that these Talmudei, which we're not compete with, we said we transform them. So he's saying we see this here. You take the Aleph, You bring it down, not just down, but all the way, even to the regular Talmidei, even to the feet of the Talmidei. In both level, that it brings it down to the extent that the negativity of life, the darkness, is not effect, doesn't hold us back, but even more, the darkness transforms. In the beginning, it negates them and it eliminates them and nullifies them. And then afterwards, transform them that even they will become kedusha. Meaning, he takes something that you might look at as a negative thing, something that's holding you back, that it's a problem. It could be OCD, and learning how to use it. Then not just it doesn't hold you back from life, but it can transform. You can use it for good. So too is bringing the 70 bulls of Sukkot, which is connected to the 70 nations. First is that they bring it in, and they're offering it, and they sort of, and it progressively decreases. That's just the number of the bulls. And that so decreases, but then it ends up with the effect that they help the Jewish people. Meaning in the beginning, it stops them from destroying the Jewish people, but then it transforms them to actually they help us. Like it says, if they would realize, if the nations of the world would realize how great the Beis Mikdash is for them, they would have gods. They would hire armies, they'd bring armies to come and guard Beis Mikdash. And through doing that, you take the Ummah Elam, that they're against Judaism, and especially throughout history, how much we've suffered because of them. That the ability that Chanuka brings out, and that happens on Sukkot, that it takes them, and not just they stop hurting us and bothering us and making problems for us, but even more that it transforms them to be ones that help us, like we see on Chanuka. That around, they're a push for this, and you see around the world. And yesterday you had in Karnat, you had the Chanukah parade. That you're taking something that suddenly a Jew is comfortable and he's able to, and he's being helped by the government to let him do these things, to light the menorah in public places, and they're getting permission from the government. That's this transformation, which helps also in holiness. Shemir as a Mikdash, God in this Mikdash. And not just I'll let you do what you want, but they even help you do the right thing. Similarly, the way it will be when Mashiach comes, that when Mashiach comes, as Hevech El Amim, the Gamer, Lavdu Shem Echad, when Mashiach comes, will transform the nations, they will all serve Hashem with one purpose. Will all be on the same page. Then that foreigners will stand and pass your flock, meaning they'll help. Just like the 70 bulls and God's 70 nations, that the 7 nations will take them and they'll be able to help, and we'll all be working together as one people. As the Rebbe, this is what the Rebbe was saying, when after the Kranach riots and the mayor Dinkins came to $2 by the Rebbe, I guess trying to make peace or something. The Rebbe said that it should be under one people, under one God, in the one city. And basically, the Rebbe is bringing out that it shouldn't be that there's a black person and a Yid and a Mexican, whatever it is. We're all one people, under one God in one city. They all come together, not as separate beings, but we all come together as one person having the one same goal. That's what we're saying happens in Chanuka. And then Sukkot, the transformation is the ability to take all those things and we all work together for the same purpose. That, to the extent, Sha'al Yedei, Umitzad Ha'umois, Nitesef, Ashmini, Carbon, Livnei Yisrael, Midrash. Not just that, but it's through the Umois specifically. It's through the nation of the world that it adds the Shmini, which is with Carbon, Livnei Yisrael, which it adds for the Jewish people to bring to the base of Mikdash. Now we're showing that we all come together as a team, and we transform. That it's not just that we're able to do what we need, and the nation of the world won't do anything to us, but even more, that they don't not just they won't do anything to us, they actually come and help us, and we all work together, and through that they help us achieve even more than what was possible before this. Parak test and Yud. We'll try to maybe jump and finish it today. Not very long. Now we're going to discuss this discussion we had in the beginning. We asked why is the dafka the menorah? Now times we light it after, like as it's getting dark, versus in the base of Mikdash was lit earlier in the day. Now, all after everything we've explained, we understand why it's dafka. It's that it comes to light up the darkness of Galus. And even more so, the time just before Mashiach, which is even more dark and a lot more murkiness and blurriness. And this is the lesson for all of us in the time of Galus from Chanuka. What's the lesson? That the intent of the darkness of Galus is come to arouse within us the ability of Mesiras Nefesh, to reveal that yichud that we have. When life comes hard at you and things happen to you, the purpose is not to say why, but the purpose is really that it's coming to bring out with infinite potential that you have within you. And through that happening, you're able to refine the darkness and transform it into light. They can take things, the struggles of your life, and transform them to be the biggest catalyst for the most success. And through everyone's personal avodah, everyone trying to do this to their extent. Together, Al Kol Panim, Rubam, at least most of us are trying, Rubam Kulam, because like it says, when it's most of us, it's like all of us. I feel Al Yidei Mitzvah Achas, Shal Echad Misal, even only one mitzvah of one single Jew, Heim B'maise, Heim B'du, Heim Machshava, whether it's in speech, the mitzvah we do, or it's action, or it's thought, who machria es atzmoi, we transform ourselves. There's called olam kula in the whole world. The chav zechus for merit, the game loy, and of course for ourselves, and to the whole Jewish people, to shuv atzalah, a salvation and a deliverance. So we're saying practically what we're learning from this is that what we achieve on Chanuka is that when we have darkness in our lives, when we overcome, we push ourselves through, we're affecting that one thing that we do. And that not just for ourselves we do this, but we try to do this for everyone that we can greet and we can meet. When we do this, we transform ourselves, and not just transform ourselves, we transform the whole world. Balachas in Yud. We'll finish it off. Yud. Balachas kama, and how much more so al yidei how you suffer b'kir and mitnei Chanuka. Not just within ourselves that we do this, that we push through, and then we add, but even more so when we add in fulfillment of the mitzvah of Chanuka, meaning whether the mitzvah is added by ourselves, being more muhudir in the way we do the mitzvah, or it could be by helping someone else do the mitzvah, like going on mitzvahim. This is specifically connected with the salvation. It's specifically about Mashiach. This is going to affect. Since Mashiach and Eliezer is going to tell us about Mashiach. They are from the 8 princes of men. There's the 7 shepherds of Jewish people, and then there's 8 princes. And 8, like we've been talking about till now, is Lamayel Misei Shtalshus, which is what's going to be bringing Mashiach. So they're part of the 8, Elio and Mashiach. The Shemainin areas to Chanuka, which is like this idea of the 8 candles of Chanuka. The Eidinyan, Bashaychus, Amichedes, and there's Chanuka, Lagula Asidon, another comparison, another connection with Chanuka and Mashiach. The commission is Chanuka ain't between, just like Chanuka, we're always never going to stop. Kain Gam Geula Asida, so too Mashiach. Tia Geula Nitzchus, Shein Shayach, Shiyeh Achra Galus. There'll be an everlasting Geula, there'll never be any more Galus afterwards, unlike the first and second Beit HaMikdash. The Chaim Beis HaMikdash, Shlishi, so the third Beis HaMikdash, who Beis Nitzchi, is an everlasting Shein Batel Olam, will never be nullified. The Viash Matel Tkenu, with the coming of Mashiach, Yavovi Galenu, will come and save us, and will take us to our holy land. The Kar Mamish. It should happen speedily. Shkoyach. So what we're saying is, to summarize, what we're saying is that all that we talked about in the Maimon is essentially that in Chanukah reveals out of this Yechidah. And when we reveal this Yechidah, when you're able to really see it, this was the challenge. They want to get rid of the Goliness in terms of the Greeks. They want to take out the connection we have to Hashem in the term mitzvahs. And we stood strong. And they got us to a high level. But when we reached the level above that we reached, and reached that level above that, that is like reaching our Yechidah. When we reach our Yechidah, not just to reach Yechidah, but that affects, we're able to conquer everything. The Yechidah affects all parts of us, even the Nefesh Bahamis, to the extent that even Nefesh Bahamis is going to have Mesiras Nefesh. And so practically being able to do that expresses itself in the details. When you do the mitzvah of Chanukah a little bit better than you're doing before, or you try to help someone else. When you do that, you transform the whole world, and not just. And we see it as not just that, like on Sukkot, and not just that the nations of the world will get in the way. We'll be able to stop that. They won't get in the way of us doing it. Even more, that they will even help us. Like we see around, like we talked about, we see around the world how, like I saw last night, that they lit the menorah in the Brandenburg Gate, which is a place which was, where the Nazis, came to power, and now they're lighting the menorah there. What a transformation! And they're lighting with the mayor of Berlin. And that's what we're talking about. And we can do the same thing when we go out Mitzvahim, or within ourselves, and both within ourselves and Mitzvahim, we do our mitzvah a little bit better. And we go out and help other people do the mitzvah. We're giving weight to the ability of Mashiach to come, that it should happen speedily nowadays. Amen. Shkoyach, everyone, for joining.